This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Gun balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 267. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Pretty good.
We're also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you?
Great.
What movie do we have you watch this week?
What? Slapstick. Slapstick on. Why can't? Slapstick.
Are you super high?
No. I've never had this.
Maybe you should be.
I haven't been from the beginning. I would never remember anything.
Well, let me help you out. It's Slapstick of Another Kind.
Yeah.
This came out in 1982. We picked this in honor of National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. This is directed by Stephen Paul, based on the Kurt Vonnegut book of the same name. Actually, it was just called Slapstick, I think, wasn't it? The book.
Yeah.
I have a synopsis here. A rich, beautiful couple give birth to deformed alien twins who, when their heads are together, are the smartest kids on the planet. And there we go. Stars Jerry Lewis.
That's insane. Madeline.
Yeah.
And Marty Feldman. Samuel Fuller. Merv Griffin.
Pat
Morita.
Morita.
Like, there's a shit ton of people in this movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Ryan, tell us a little bit about Slapstick of Another Kind.
Alright, well, Pat Morita is the ambassador of China. And the people of China are severing all their ties with the outside world, with everyone in the outside world. And they have also figured out how to shrink minute-wise everything, and they have shrunk themselves down to 2 inches tall. So every Chinese person in the world is 2 inches tall, except for the few people that are telling all the news people all about this. Their normal height. And during the press conference, he tells everyone that their secret lies in twins. And this one is Jerry Lewis and some lady I didn't recognize. And apparently the press keeps going as the most beautiful people in the world. And they're in the hospital because the wife is giving birth. And she's giving birth to twins. And they're delivering. And they're basically called monsters. They were like rejects. And a lot of people think they're retarded. And that they'll only live a few months. So Jerry Lewis's wife let him live at this crazy mansion with all these servants. And they're living in this mansion for over 15 years. And they're only supposed to be alive for a few months. Well, then I discovered that people go in the house along with the parents, and they meet the children, and I discovered that they only act like idiots around the servants because they're imitating them. And they're actually like really smart, really well man. And a couple months later, the parents suspect them to be having incest with each other. So they attempt to separate them. And this scene's pretty ridiculous because one of them is inside this mansion, and the other one is in a cage that is on wheels and it's being drawn away by horses. And they put him in this cage, and he acts like, he's stuck and he can't get out. And all of a sudden, they notice that their rings split on. So they kind of turn to each other and try to rescue each other. And he instantly just opens it like he doesn't even bust out of the cage. He just opens the door and runs out. And she opens the door to the mansion she's in. And they run out. And they try to grasp each other. But they can't. At this point, they figure out that their powers only work. Well, I don't know if they figure out, but you figure out as a watcher that their powers only work when they're together. And then at the end of it, it's revealed that they're actually aliens. And they've come here to solve all the world's problems. But apparently they can't because we're too dumb. And that's it.
Do they like go back to their alien planet, or
I
they stay here?
The movie ends with them getting a spaceship.
So what? They just give up? They give up?
They're not talking over voiceover. And they fly away back into space.
Oh my god, that's the best ending. They come down and they're like, nope, guess we can't help them, and then leave, and that's the end. Oh my god. Alright, so what'd you think of this movie?
Very confusing. Didn't like it. A lot of weird stuff happened.
Oh, I noticed a lot of the people are like older actors by this point, like like Merv Griffin and Jerry Lewis. And
one of the things that I don't quite understand, so Jerry Lewis and Madeline Kahn play both the couple and
the
twins
and the kids, yeah.
So
they're supposed to be kids, right? Like, how does that work?
Not too well.
It's like an old man playing a 15-year-old kid.
What happens when
have giant foreheads?
What happens when they're born? Like, are they babies?
They don't show them.
They're what now?
They don't show them.
Oh, they don't show. So they just skip ahead.
Yeah, there's one of them things on the screen that says 15 years later.
Gotcha.
it's still like a man in his like 50s or 60s or whatever playing a 15-year-old kid.
Oh my god.
And I don't know how old Madeline Kahn was during all this, but
Yeah,
she wasn't 15.
They were so deformed that you could. It took me a while to figure out that they're the same people. Because at first I thought they were little people. But it turned like they had real big heads and real, I guess I want to say short arms, legs.
Okay.
I don't know. Something about them just didn't look correct.
Madeline Kahn would have been 40 at this point. And Jerry Lewis would have been 56.
Yeah. 15-year-old kids. Yep, that'll work.
Without a doubt. Perfect.
That'll work.
Oh god. So what problems are they solving though? Like it sounds like they're just kind of kept in the house. Like how do they even have a chance to
They really don't.
Doesn't seem like a very well thought out plan.
I also just don't understand this movie. Like what's the premise? Like if you were trying to sell this movie to me, I mean whoever got pitched this movie and greenlit it had to be on drugs or something. Because like this just you saying it to me, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like I don't understand what the film is. Like what's the hook?
Yeah, it seems.
Where's the entertainment?
It seems. Yeah, I don't really know. Like I don't really know what this.
It just sounds like an excuse to have Jerry Lewis and Madeline Kahn dress up as ridiculous looking people.
Here's something else I don't get. Alright, they gave birth to kids at the beginning of the movie. But at the end of the movie, it turns out they're really aliens.
Yeah, how'd that work?
If they gave birth to kids, how are they aliens?
And also, you think like they're their biological children because they look like them, because they are them, you know?
Yeah.
So just maybe
where did the whole alien thing come from?
So somehow the alien DNA got in there with the human DNA. That's why I guess these aliens have huge foreheads.
Yeah.
They have huge foreheads because they apparently can put them together and do wonderful things.
I do also.
Every time they put them together, there's like a halo around their heads.
But what do they do? So they put their heads together, they get super smart. Do they show any examples of that in the movie?
No, it just kind of shows that halo.
But there's actually like no example of their intelligence whatsoever.
Not that. I mean, they have like at one part the parents think they're dumb, and so they're imitating the service, and they think the servants are dumb because of alcohol. So they don't drink alcohol, listen to being dumb.
I really don't understand. I'm so confused. So they don't even get a shot at fixing the world's problems. And then they bounce. So it's like, I mean, beforehand I thought it was bad that they failed somehow and left. And now I'm learning that they don't even try. They're just here for a bit and they're like, fuck this, let's go home.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I know. That's why I like it, because I know if I miss something,
Now, I have
I don't. I didn't get it.
one other question because I'm reading the synopsis here. And this seems just like something that just got thrown in at the last minute. And it says mixed in with all of this is a miniaturized Chinese ambassador who needs the twins' help to make a deal for the sale of gravity. First is the Chinese ambassador miniature.
Okay, the miniature Chinese ambassador is Pat Morita.
So he is miniature?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I
That's
guess
just
it's
how
like
he is.
So it's not explained at all. He's just mini. It's just a
I
mini
think
Chinese-
it's supposed to be like a stereotype. Like, Asian people are little. So
No way.
therefore, little.
No
I
way.
mean, I can understand like they're going for a stereotype where Asian people are small, but this synopsis specifically says miniaturized, like it was some sort of ray gun that turned him to like 2 feet tall.
Like I said, the Chinese, they cut ties with everybody in the world.
Got small.
They mastered miniaturization.
They mastered miniaturization,
Yeah.
So,
and then he wanted to buy gravity.
wait, how did you hold
That-
this
that
back?
part,
How
I
did you
don't
keep this
know.
in? How did you keep this from us until just now? Even when I mentioned miniaturized like a number of
I
times,
didn't.
and now you're.
And then it's what
So this is kind of like the movie Downsizing, where only China gets the downsize. And now for some reason they're trying to sell gravity. Who are they selling gravity to?
that part I don't remember at all.
Mhm,
So
God.
there's a good part or a good chance I didn't. That part wasn't in the movie I watched.
I bet it was. I bet it wasn't in there. Just because it just sounds like this is such a rushed mess of a movie.
I imagine that it was probably just like a throwaway line.
Yeah,
Where it's just
Well,
Pat
they never
Morita's
bothered
like,
to.
we need their help to sell gravity. And then like Pat Morita was never heard from again.
The sound was one channel. It wasn't even serious, and there was one channel.
Rocking that mono.
Ryan getting technical. I like this.
I couldn't. Sometimes I was trouble hearing. And Pat Morita talked in a very, very raised voice.
Because it's mini. Get it?
Yeah,
And it was hard to understand him.
they should have given him like the helium voice.
Does he have a healing voice?
He pretty much did. Sort of. Wow.
Nice.
Sort of.
This makes no sense whatsoever. I don't get this. I don't understand this movie. Is it even
No,
a
it sounds-
slapstick comedy? Is it slapstick?
I guess you were supposed to laugh. There's a lot of. I did notice a few jokes now that would be considered racist today.
I figured.
Classic 80s racism.
Yeah.
So this is based on the book. Now, I've never read the book. I actually own the book, but I never read it. Kevin, have you read Slapstick?
I have not, but I have a feeling that it's not this.
No, from what I read briefly about this, it's really not at all like the book. It's one of the worst Vonnegut adaptations from what I've read. So I don't think that this is reflective of reflects the book in any way. Now, talking about slapstick, this reminds me. Now, Kevin, I hope you can remember this.
Okay.
Ages ago, probably decades ago, there was a show on Sci-Fi Channel. And on that show, they played short films. I can't even remember the name of the show. But on one episode, they had a short film that was adapted from Slapstick. And the short film was absolutely incredible. And I've been searching for this short film ever since. And I can't find it anywhere. And you may remember it, Kevin. It was about gravity and how gravity would randomly increase.
Okay.
So it was just like a day in the life of these people where gravity was randomly increasing, and there was like a new. It started off with somebody getting out of bed, and then there was like they were watching the news, and there was they had like a meter to show what the gravity level was like during the day.
Yes.
And what they did to show the effects of gravity, or increased gravity, is they like sped everything up. So like when they would show something dropping or people moving, it was all done at a faster frame rate. So it looked like everything had much more weight to it. And I loved it. It was so funny. And I've been trying to find it for years. And I don't know what it was called. Like, I don't know what the short film was called. I know that it was adapted from Slapstick. And I know that it was on the Sci-Fi Channel on some show that they played short films. But that's like all I can really remember. But I remember so vividly the actual film itself because I watched it a whole bunch of times.
I do remember that.
And like I think it was like at the end, he was like trying to get out of the house, and finally he made it. And something happened, like he got hit with something like very light in it and just knocked him over into the grass or onto the ground. And I can't remember what it was, but I just remember it being really funny and clever. So if anybody knows of the short that I'm talking about, send me an email, because I would love to see that again. Anyway, let's talk about Stephen Paul, the director of this thing. He hasn't done much as far as directing. He only has 3 features under his belt. Slapstick of Another Kind from 1982, and then he did Falling in Love Again in 1980, and then Eternity was his last movie in 1990. What's Eternity all about? John Voight?
TV producer
Armand
James
Asante?
has an extremely vivid dream in which he is a prince struggling to keep the kingdom at peace against the wishes of his warfaring brother.
Huh.
Wilford Brimley's in it too. Frankie Valli. This guy is cashing in a shit ton of favors.
Yeah.
Getting these people.
They're all like old school actors.
Well, this is IMDb, so who knows? But it's saying that he was a manager for John Voight, which makes sense for Eternity. Gene Wilder, Michael Cimino. So it seems like he was the manager of people. That's how he was able to corral that talent.
Okay.
He was able to do it for 3 movies, and then his friends.
They're like, yeah, they're like, nah, we're good, Steve.
We gave you 3 chances, Steve.
Well, he has since gone on to become a producer, so he's I don't want to call him big time, but he looks like he's been working very steadily as a producer for the rest of his career. He's done Ghost in the Shell, the new one.
Okay.
A bunch of stuff that I never even heard of.
Oh, he did Pottersville.
Yeah, he did Pottersville.
Baby Geniuses. That seems to be his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he did pretty much all of Baby Geniuses movies, which apparently there's a shitload of those movies.
I didn't know.
We gotta get some of these for Ryan.
That's right. Ghost Rider and Tekken movies.
We did a movie called Pizza Man.
I saw them one day.
Did you? How was it?
Terrible.
Ah,
Wait, is that the animated? That's the animated one then.
What? Tekken?
What? Wasn't there an animated one?
Maybe.
did you see the animated one? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
He did the live action.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Well, he
I
also
didn't
did
even know
Tekken.
that
Oh,
existed.
damn. There's a live action sequel too.
Yeah, Tekken Kazuya's Revenge.
Okay.
Came out a few years ago. He did Doomsday. He produced Doomsday, which I was a big fan of. The Neil Marshall movie. He's got some decent stuff in there under his producer belt.
I want to throw one other thing out there. Is the cinematographer for this movie, for Slapstick of Another Kind, is Anthony Richmond, who did Don't Look Now, the Donald Sutherland classic,
Yeah.
Bad Timing, and The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Wow.
So, like I was
That's
saying,
interesting.
this guy is pulling in some heavy favors.
Yeah, because those movies are like really strong in the cinematography department.
Which, I mean, he was the cinematographer for Candyman.
Oh, shit.
He went on to be Candyman, The Sandlot,
Oh, shit.
Tales from the Hood,
Oh.
Ravenous.
Ravenous,
Damn.
Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd.
Oh, no.
Man, let's not.
Boy
Let's end
in
it
the
there.
month.
Let's not.
Good luck, Chuck.
Oh, God.
You can kind of see. You can see the trajectory that his career took there.
Yeah.
And did Orson Welles write the book?
Did Orson Welles write the book?
No. Why
No,
are you
it's
asking
Kurt-
about Orson Welles?
Because he was the
Don't tell me he was in
voice.
this fucking movie.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
He's
He was
the
the-
voice of the alien parent.
Get the fuck out. He is. What the?
Oh, my God. Well, you know, I mean, Orson Welles, later in his career,
True, but it's
I think
just
he just was doing whatever.
It's just you're piling it together. You know what I mean? Like if you just told me Orson Welles, I would be like, oh, okay. But to have Jerry Lewis in there too, and Madeline Kahn, and the cinematographer for Don't Look Now, you know, Marty Feldman, like all these, like kind of big talents.
Mm-hmm.
All together in what seems to be the worst movie ever.
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it?
It is. By a guy named Stephen Paul.
Who also cast himself in his own movie. He was Air Force One ensign.
There you go. Who would later go on to produce Baby Geniuses, The Mystery of the Crown Jewels, and the Tekken movies. I mean, what the... So bizarre.
Yes, this is definitely a weird one. I never even heard of this movie, actually, before I started researching what to give you this week. I never knew this existed, but searching for fairy tale movies, I was like, yep. All right, let's go ahead and give you a drum roll, Ryan. What do you give Slapstick of Another Kind?
2.
That is a 2 out of 10. Ouch.
What keeps
Sorry,
this?
Jarvis.
What keeps this from being a 0? Because from what you've explained to me it's a 0.
It's like one.
Huh?
It's not Catwoman.
Like Catwoman.
Okay, I would imagine that would make it a 1.
I mean,
Oh, that makes. Where's the other?
it's a half because they can mark a half letterbox. I can't mark it a 0 because it would show up like I didn't write it at all.
Okay.
So I give it a...
But would...
Well, what makes this a 2, he's saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because that would be a 1 star.
All the star power.
Oh, okay.
He loves that Hollywood town.
Pat Morita.
A mini Pat Morita.
Gets that Morita bump.
Marita did, like, I won't lie, when I first started watching this for the first 5 minutes, I was excited. There was a miniature Pat Morita. And
Yeah.
he was talking in a high voice.
He's doing like an Alvin Chipmunks type thing.
Yeah.
Man.
And
Now-
he had like 2 bodyguards. And they all trailed around in little flag saucer that looked like fortune cookie, sort of.
Oh, God. For those of you that have been listening since the beginning, you may remember we covered another Pat Morita movie with Collision Course.
How's that stack up?
That was the one with Jay Leno and Pat Morita, the buddy cop movie.
I don't know. It's about the Collision Course.
Well, I still have it on DVD if you want to refresh yourself.
That was what, 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it was more than that. It was like 6 years ago.
Lord have mercy.
Let's talk about National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. This is on February 26th. Let's see what it says here. What were once oral histories, myths, and legends retold around the fire or by traveling storytellers have been written down and become known the world over as fairy tales. The origins of most fairy tales were unseemly and would not be approved or rated as appropriate for children by the Association of Fairy Tales by today's standards. The key element of that sentence is the Association of Fairy Tales, which is apparently a thing.
I'm looking that up right now.
Good. Most were told as a way to make children behave, teach a lesson to them, or pass the time, much like ghost stories around a campfire today. Blah, blah, blah. We all know what does it say? As the stories have evolved, they took a much more magical quality, and with fictional characters such as fairies, giants, mermaids, and gnomes, and sometimes gruesome story plots. Toes cut off to fit into a slipper, a wooden boy killed his cricket, or instead of kissing that frog prince, his head must be cut off. But those are the unrated versions.
There is no association of fairy tales. There is an
Son of a bitch.
There's an Australian fairy tale society. That's about it. So lies. Nothing but lies.
Man. All right, well, how do we observe this? Engage your audience. You tell a great story. Children like to participate. Have them quack every time the ugly duckling is mentioned. Or make the motions of climbing Jack's beanstalk. It says here, use repetition. This will also keep kids engaged. It not only helps them remember the story, but sets them up for the next round of the repeated phrase or stanza. Give your characters a voice, ask questions as you go. Find out if someone has their own story. Share your favorite fairy tale with friends and family. Try relating them from memory, as this has been a long tradition. Visit a library or local bookstore for story time.
No.
Use hashtag Tell a Fairy Tale Day to post
so
on social media. That's the truncated version.
That story tell.
Surprise, surprise. Within our research, we were unable to find the creator or origin of National Tell a Fairy Tale Day.
I would imagine that it's probably the Association of Fairy Tales. I would imagine that they lobbied for it, even though they don't exist.
Maybe it's a double negative.
No, I mean,
They do exist.
I'm sure that it was sort of like a joke. It was supposed to be like a silly.
Well, it didn't work.
Well,
Okay.
no, I know it didn't work.
You don't joke around with the word association. You throw association of and then another proper noun. I think it's a real association, and it's not in this case.
Yeah.
And I'm upset.
Maybe there are secrets.
That's perfect place to end.
Yeah, maybe they are a secret society. Who knows? They're hanging out with the skulls. Is that Joshua Jackson?
Stop.
Oh, all right. I think that's gonna do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegs.Don't.Work. If you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.